racers, James with Motion RC here. Today we got an overview video on one of our latest additions to the turbo racing lineup. This is the C66 drift car. It is now an upgraded edition of some of the previous drift cars they had with a better gyro, some other features inside the box that we're going to cover here in this video. We also carry these nice mats, which we have drift car versions and regular car versions. Because turbo racing does have regular race cars, they have rubber tires. You're gonna want one of the other mats if you want a nice racing circuit. But for the drift cars, this is made of like plastic, makes it nice and slippery because these have brass wheels. So they're able to slide. Great for hardwood floors, great for like granite countertops. You know, these are 1/76 scale micro RC cars that are packed with features. So let's get into it. So now taking a look, let's pull everything out of the box. Now I already pre-opened it. I charged the car itself. I put batteries in the transmitter already and then just put it back in. I wanted to get that done so we would be able to do this video right. But when you pull it out, you're gonna see your manual right on top. And you take the manual out, you get a couple other things in there, but that'll go through. And then you see right on top, a lot of the features already right here. You will pull this piece of foam out and that'll have everything there. And then there's another piece of foam that we could take out with the rest of it. And we'll go through each bit inside the box. Box is now empty. Let's get that out of the way. And first and foremost, let's start with our car. So your car comes fully assembled right out the gate. You can see the gold tires. Those are brass tires again, and it has a gyro, and then there's a little piece of cardboard that just, I guess, keeps the wheels straight. And the top, the body is already painted beautifully. I really love the green. It really sticks out. And what's great is on this, for such a small car, you're gonna see these LED lights come on. They also have underbody lights, which you can change the color of. Another great feature that we'll get into. Then looking at the rest, they give you two full bodies that you can customize yourself, which is great. And they give you all the parts for it. So inside this bag is gonna have the black windows. Like these are sort of, you put them together, but obviously you paint the body yourself first. Whatever color, you could put stickers, whatever you want to do, but then they give you, you know, little pieces that you could put on. So this is like the front and back windshield that will snap in once you're done painting. And then you have those, you have bumpers, extra bumpers, you have the extra spoiler, and all the little pieces that you'd need to get these going. So if you don't like the body it came with, or you just want two extra bodies to be able to, you know, change your colors, always a great feature with these turbo racing products, and nice to see here. Then in the third bag, they give you see these colors here, they give you 4 color options. These are for the underbody lights. So you can turn on and off the underbody lights from the transmitter, and you could change to any color. I believe they have red, orange, green, and blue, or maybe that's yellow, I think it's orange. But there's one for each side, and they will go on the sides of the car on the inside. And we could get into that in a little bit, because right now you actually wouldn't be able to see the underbodies due to one of the improvements they made for this drift car, which we'll talk about in a second. Now on the rest of this part, you're going to see there's 2 extra pieces that are for the transmitter, because if you notice, the transmitter comes in 2 parts, but they have green features, green grip on the handle and a green turning wheel. But if you want to change those to just gray, you can change those. So they give you those options, which again, nice. Maybe green isn't for you, you want something plain. And then looking in the other slot of this last piece of foam on the top, you got 2 tools. So these are tools to get access into the car. You got a mini screwdriver. That's gonna help you take off the bumpers or anything you need. And then you got a little Allen wrench as well, if you need that. Now on the other one, we'll start here. You got 2 different charge leads. So one is a USB-C to USB-C. So you can charge it that way if you wish, or there's the older style USB to the USB-C, and that's to charge your car, because underneath the car itself, you'll see there's a charge port. The battery, the LiPo battery is built in to the model itself, so you just plug that in, plug it into the USB, and there's a little red light you'll see when it's charging, and that light turns off when it's fully charged. Now taking a look in here, you got the top part of your transmitter and the bottom part of your transmitter, and these just slide into place. So they lock like this, and they lock right in, and if you ever want to separate it, you just lift the little knob at the back and they separate easily. The way you access the batteries is on the top part here. There's a little hatch, and you're going to put 4 AAA batteries into your transmitter. That's what's going to get this running. Once they're in there, lock it down, and then we come back, slide it in, and you're ready with your grip. Now on the transmitter, they do have the standard knobs you'd expect on the top of first on off. So turn it on, you'll see the blue light come on. This gear is the gyro gain sensitivity. So all the way, one way, on or off, and you can manipulate the gain on your gyro, which is very important with the car like this. We'll talk about that when we're driving it. And then you can see your other standard RC cars things here. You have your throttle dual rates and trim, and you have your steering dual rates and trim. So to trim those. Then these top knobs, this is for reversing the throttle, or the steering, sorry, reversing the steering if you want. If you'd rather, for some reason it's reversed, you move that either way. And then this knob you'll see on top, 20, 50, and 100. That's how much access to full throttle you can go. So for a beginner, we'll get into it, you start at 20. So when you've done the stick, you'll only get 20% of the power of the car. When you go to 50, you'll get half power to the car, and 100 will unlock the full potential of the vehicle. So it's sort of like a beginner, intermediate, advanced mode, if you want to call it that. But a really good setting here to get into, to get started with this car. And then lastly, inside, they do give you a secondary battery. If you want to use your own nickel metal hydride battery, you can do that with this. You can take out the 4 AAA case from the transmitter and put in your own battery in that if you want, which is a nice little feature. And then last, some turbo racing models have been coming with this, but this is a standard 6-channel receiver that you can use this transmitter and bind it up to any RC car you want. Obviously, it's not going to fit in the turbo racing cars, but if you want to use this transmitter for a different RC car you have, they give you that as an option. Just a nice feature to have. So that's pretty much everything out of the box. Now, before we plug it in, let's just talk about all the features of this model. The first feature of this model is going to be the upgraded gyroscope inside this model. In order to drift, a gyro is necessary, and it has been updated from previous versions of this model. So it's going to suit this model's weight, because actually this model, we'll talk about in a second, does have added ballast, so it's a little heavier than previous drift cars. So that gyro needed to be updated to handle the new speed characteristics, give you better drift angles, and just overall gyro sensitivity increases. So you're going to notice it if you've had a previous version of a turbo racing drift car. Now next we have ballast. So you're going to see on this model, if you don't care about the underbody lights, the model comes installed with 2 weights on each side of the model. And you could take those off if you want. The model will drive a little differently, it'll get a little lighter. But this makes the model a little heavier for its size. And that's gonna, again, help it stay on the, stay on the track, stay in the drifts, and overall is just such a nice upgrade from previous models. The motor itself, although small, can achieve 51,000 RPMs and go about 5 kilometers an hour, which is pretty darn quick for a little turbo racing car, but just awesome power in such a small package. And overall, the throttle curve has been enhanced. You have a refined throttle response with the upgrade to that gyro that we spoke about, the upgraded motor, and just the overall system makes controlling this turbo racing drift car a better experience than previous versions of the turbo racing drift cars. This model comes with a 55 milliamp battery pre-installed, and you can see that on the internal of the car. That is rechargeable. You charge it right from there, and it's going to give you a good amount of drive time on something this small, probably anywhere from 20 minutes up to 30 minutes on such a small pack. You also have the lighting system, so not only do you have underbody lights that you could change the color for, so again, you have red, orange, green and blue options for you, but you also have the ability to turn the headlights on and off or have them flash. So there are headlights and rear lights as well. And again, some of the other features we already touched on is going to be those 2 replaceable bodies. So if you want to customize your model, you have access to that. So you have a lot of customizable options to get more use and more life out of this C66 drift car. Okay, before we plug this in, I just want to show you the internals of the car, and it's really, really cool. Now, you'll see when you turn the car upside down that there are 2 screws. You actually don't have to unscrew anything to get the body off. The body sort of clips in. If you grab the 2 front tires and just sort of lift on the front of the body, it comes out all in one. The screws themselves are attached to the body if you want to remove the bumpers. That's the only reason those screws are there. You don't have to actually take those off to get access to the internal of the car, but all around pretty sweet. So now taking a look at the car itself, that is the internals of one of these turbo racing cars. It's absolutely awesome how much they got into such a small space. Again, you got the 5500 milliamp battery on top, which has a plug. If you know, there are replacements. If you ever need to replace it, you can plug it in and take this off. It's probably just tack glued down on there, but you can see the receiver antenna and all the workings on the model itself. And then on the sides, now we talked about before the ballast. These 2 black plates, you can see them here, they just pop off very simply. They're just sort of fit in. So if you don't want these weights, like these are heavy actually, you know, for what they are. There is a right and left on each one. So you'll see there's an L and an R on each side. So you'll know which is which to put on your model. But all around, and if you wanted to replace the colors, let's say we wanted to have blue, you know, we'll go blue because it'll pop off of the green. But you take these colors, and there's 2 little hooks, and they just press in. So you press in the one side, and then we come to the other side, press this in, boop, and now we have blue underlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on, and you can see the lights on there. Turn on my transmitter, and then you can see the LEDs for the underbody. So when you have these black weights on, you won't be able to see the underbody lights. But if you want the underbody lights and just want to, you know, it will change the driving habits of the car, you can do it that way. So then putting it back on, I put in the back first, line it up with there, and then the front will just sort of lift the front a little bit, and now you are good to go, and you got your underbody lights. But yeah, such a super neat feature for such a great car. But you see, and you also the gyro, you can see the gyro working when the gyro's on, and I'll show you again with the gain. So right now my gain is about 75%. I'm gonna lower it all the way to 0. So I turn the gain dial down on the transmitter, and the gyro is completely off. So if you want to drive gyro free, you can do that. But if you bring the gain all the way up, you will see the model, you know, the gyro wiggle, and that's going to help you know, this model try to maintain its drift and such. It's a fun experience. It's a different experience than just a standard turbo racing race car. But all around, super neat there. So now I'm gonna take the top off again quick, and I'm gonna put the weights back on because I wanna see what it's like with those weights. We don't really care about the underbody lights at the moment. All right, so we're gonna start at the starting line for this one. I have it in the 20%. Again, we had said it has 3 modes, so 20, 50, and 100. This is gonna be the slowest when I gas the throttle. So when I goose it, you're gonna see it right now, I have the gyro turned off, which actually will make it harder to drive. This model wants a gyro. You can see without the gyro on, this model will go all over the place, but you can see the low throttle setting. So that's no gyro with low throttle. And then I'm gonna show you now, I'm gonna crank the gyro all the way up, and you'll see the difference. You never want the gyro all the way off, and you never want it all the way up. So I'm just showing you, but you see it wobble. So now that the gyro's on, when the gyro's too high, when gains on a gyro are too high, it will wobble. It'll also make it hard to steer because the gyro is trying to get the model to go straight. So if you have 100% control, it's really not fun to control. It won't drift. It won't do much. So now I'm going to bring the gain down to 50%. So I'm 50% on my transmitter, again at the 20% throttle, and you could see that it starts getting a little more responsive and a little better. You could actually drift a bit and try to stay in the drift. And again, this is only at 20% of the throttle capability on here. I've got to get used to it. But all around, super duper neat. You also have reverse as well. So I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Now we're going to kick it up to 50%, and we're still at 50% on the gyro gain. So now this is a little faster. And then you can really start swinging the weight of those ballasts around into a drift. And you want a nice, you know, a nice slippery surface to do this on. That's why these mats that we carry here are perfect for it. You want to get a drift car specific mat because it's made out of this nice plastic material that's, you know, a lot more slippery and better for, you know, for doing this. But it feels a little fast and furious here. But it's just so much fun to be able to do in a tight space. And if you have multiple people, like I wish I had a second person here with me, and you could have sort of a race on this, like great for kids. I mean, I know my son loves playing with these whenever I whip them out, but all around, super duper cool. I'm gonna bring the gyro gain up a little bit now. I'm gonna go to about 75%. See what that does for me. And again, we're still at 50% speed. I don't know if I'm ready for 100% speed yet, but let's just see. I'm gonna disregard the racetrack. I'm just gonna check in the drift, but pretty cool. See the gyro working on the wheels. Like I'm just holding the stick and the gyro's doing a lot of the work to help it drift. This is full speed, full right turn, full left turn if you wanted to do like a tight little donut. But then if you just open it up nicely, you know, lighter on the turns, you can really see it start to drift. Let's try to drift around a corner. Whoa. But all around, super neat. Let's get party lights going. Party lights. So that's the other setting on the switch on the transmitter. You could switch those headlights on, off, on, or flashers if you want. All right. Now, I like the gyro setting there when I'm in this speed. Now let's go up to 100. So now we're gonna have double the speed here, and I'm just gonna bring it back. Let me goose it, see what it looks like. Because again, at least the tires are brass, it's more slippery. So it doesn't it doesn't really grip, but you're gonna be able to get much better drift when you're moving. I might even have to bring the gyro gain down a little bit. Now that I'm at 100%, I'm gonna bring the gyro gain back down to 50%. And you wanna be a little tighter on your movements. Smaller movements go a long way. Oh, cool. That's a drift. There we go, we're in the drift. I saw a video of someone on YouTube. They have this exact track, but they added all sorts of stuff. They had gates around the side. They had a big rock formation here. They made it look like it was, you know, an actual course somewhere, which is also really neat. Whoop! Absolutely awesome. So guys, I can't recommend turbo racing cars anymore. I have a bunch of them all back here, pretty much all the models. We have trucks. We have trucks with trailers, semi-trucks with trailers now, regular race cars, they've got drift cars, and this latest edition is probably the prettiest one I've seen so far. That green really pops, and the fact that you have extra bodies if you want to customize, make different colors to change. You could even change the transmitter grip. You could change the lights on underneath. Let me just show you that real quick while we're here. Again, the headlights are on party mode. That's this switch here. You push it into the middle. You got solid on, or you could turn them off. And then the underbody lights is this switch. You won't really see them. I believe they're on right now. Yes, they are on right now. Underneath, when I push this button, they turn off. Hard to see because, again, we have the ballast on there, which I think is a lot better for this model. It adds some nice weight. Like, this model feels heavier than previous models because of those grooves. A great addition for them. I guess they noticed that in order to drift, you do need a little weight, something that's gonna, you know, bring down the center of gravity for the model and just make it a little better. But all around, such a cool package with so many great features. We're excited to have this product line on the Motion RC website. So guys, that's going to do it for this video today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't hesitate to ask. I try to answer as many as I can to the best of my ability. But guys, the best way to help out Motion RC, first and foremost on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. That always helps. But the best thing you can do is head over to motionrc.com, pick yourself up a new turbo racing C66 drift car, or grab yourself an RC boat, a tank, a plane, a helicopter, you name it. We got it at Motion RC. We're excited to serve you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.